Louisville City go in search of a third star as the 2022 USL Championship begins. Atlanta United 2 are the visitors at the Lynn Family Stadium. Ben Jacobs with you on the call, and alongside me it's good evening to former Manchester United goalkeeper Gary Bailey. Gary, 27 degrees out there.
Oh, it's absolutely freezing. It's tough for the players and it's a tough season ahead. If you have a look at it, 2 conferences, 27 teams.
Absolutely, this is the format for the 2022 season. 34 games in the regular season, and then 7 teams from each conference earn a playoff berth. Taking a look at the Eastern Conference then, and it's probably not going to stay like this, Gary.
Well, here's one thing. It's a good thing for Atlanta United fans. They are currently top of that table. I dare say they're not going to stay there too long, but at least they can take that picture, and they are top alphabetically, and 13th and 14th are Tampa Bay and Miami. So 14 teams and a lot of very, very good teams amongst that group.
Lots of change and new faces, particularly for Louisville. And here is one of the new faces between the sticks. Tonight's Commonwealth Credit Union profile is the goalkeeper, Kyle Morton.
Yeah, 6'4". He's a huge goalkeeper, massive presence in goals. Was with Houston Dynamo last season. So, lots of experience at the very highest levels here, MLS, and had a bad cruciate injury last season, but seems to be fully recovered. And he could be the missing piece of this jigsaw puzzle as far as Danny Cruz is concerned. But of course, not just Kyle Morton as a new player, but a couple of other big name players coming in as well.
Absolutely. Jonathan Gomez going out to Real Sociedad. Amadou Dio has looked impressive though in pre-season.
Yeah, great bombs down that left-hand side. Musha Galusa, good goal scorer, as is Wilson Harris. Ray Serrano, classy player. So he's brought good players in, no question about that, Danny Cruz, but it's goodbye to some old ones there. And Chris Hubbard retiring, Carl Gregg, Antoine Hopeno. Yeah, some names that have brought success to the club in recent times.
Let's take a look at Atlanta United 2. The visitors 8-10-10 last season, 7th in the Central Division and 12th in the Eastern Conference. What can we expect from the visitors this evening?
Look, it's a young side. There's 6 teenagers and only 3 players over 21 years of age. So I think that's the toughest situation. They're very talented, make no mistake, and you could be looking at future stars of American soccer here, but can they come up against a powerful Lou City at Lynn Family Stadium and get a result? Unlikely, but always possible.
It's icy, it's cold, the gloves are out, and kickoff is shortly. Louisville City against Atlanta United 2. We'll have the team news next.
Commonwealth Credit Union is growing and hiring. If you have a passion to help others, come check us out. Our mission is to better lives in the communities we serve through financial products and services, leading-edge technology, and a commitment to treat every person with respect. If you'd like to join our team, visit our website to learn more about our extraordinary culture, pay, benefits, and the many more reasons we are voted the best place to work in Kentucky. Commonwealth Credit Union. Here, we see you differently.
These new Rally's Fry Season chicken tenders are for Joe. Joe wants his son's project to be #1. Woo. So we took our #1 famous seasoned fries and added the same secret blend of spices to create Rally's new Fry Season tenders. Made with 100% white meat chicken and all coated with our famous fry seasoning. Now that's a winning combination. Genius recognizes genius, Joe. Come get your new Fry Season tenders. You've earned it. Join Rally's Rewards for a free Buford or Mother Cruncher.
Louisville's magnetic. When I hear Louisville, Kentucky, I think about culture. I think about the horses, I think about the bourbon, I think about the people. You have everything you need in a big city. At the same time, you feel like you go to the grocery store and see everybody that you know. People here have a lot of human experience. I think they're eager to tell you about their lives. They've lived a lot of places and they've decided, hey, this is home, this is where I want to be because I love it here.
Did you know Toyota actually spends $1 million every hour of every day on R&D?
It's all part of an even larger $30 billion investment to design and build vehicles in the USA.
Made in America means something to Toyota, like 176,000 jobs and over 30 million Toyotas built right here in the USA.
And for over 20 years, Toyota's electrified vehicles have been leading the way towards a better tomorrow.
The more you know, the more you'll drive Toyota.
Let's go places.
Welcome back to the Lynn Family Stadium. Ben Jacobs and Gary Bailey with you. Louisville City against Atlanta United 2. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for the hosts. It's a back three, Gary, and of course no Cameron Lancaster. Harris Wilson is in his place.
Yes, it's a real surprise to me as well. Three at the back and no Sean Tosh, who played every match of last season. He's on the bench, but still it's a stacked team. Three newcomers to that side that we'll talk about during the game.
4-3-3 for this young Atlanta side, and look out for Aidan McFadden at the back, capable of goals.
Yeah, two of the more experienced players out wide in the back four, but look up front at Jackson Conway. Has scored goals for the full side. He could be a handful as far as Lou City are concerned. Robbie Mertz there playing on the left-hand side, captain for the day. He's got lots of experience. Otherwise, it's pretty much a young Atlanta 2 side.
27 degrees, kick-off very shortly. Aidan McFadden with 8 goals last season. Robbie Mertz with 5 assists. It is Louisville City against Atlanta United 2. The opening game of the 2022 USL season. Very cold out there, and I should point out as well that our referee is Melvin Rivas, and we're underway as Louisville City look for a 3rd star, and Atlanta United 2 hoping to improve on 7th place in the division and 12th overall in the Eastern Conference. We'll run through the teams throughout the course of the game in case you are late to the broadcast. And remember to engage with us on Twitter. We'll have some trivia for you a little bit later. Early stages, and Louisville City are in the purple. Atlanta United are all in white. And an early opportunity here down the left-hand side. A flag will go up, though, but immediately, Gary, we can see how fast Louisville City are looking to break forward.
Yeah, that was a good tackle there from Noah Cobb, just getting his foot in. Given offside, but it just shows you the high pressure. Lou City trying to sort of close down as quickly as possible any play at the back by Atlanta United 2. Going to be difficult for these young players, and in fact every club that comes to Lynn Family Stadium, it's difficult, but especially so on the opening day when this Lou City team are fired up and looking for a good start to the season.
Mikey Ambrose goes back to Vicente Reyes, the 18-year-old Chilean who's 6'4" between the sticks, and this high press from Louisville, again putting the visitors under early pressure, but they'll work it up into the midfield area. And once again, the 50-50 will be won by the home side, and there's space out on the right-hand side here. Ombi picks it up. He loves to run forwards. Nice little touch, but just knocked it a fraction too far. And as a result, Atlanta will clear their lines. Not only clear their lines, but work it up into midfield. Robbie Mertz, who had those 5 assists last season, short ball out to the right-hand side, and plenty forwards here for the visitors, and that's a slight waste. I think it was more of a shot than a cross, but it takes a deflection, and it will therefore give Atlanta the first opportunity from a set piece. Eric Centeno, the 19-year-old who was a first-round pick for Atlanta United in the MLS Super Draft, the man to try his luck from long range and win that corner, and over to take it will be Matteo Brick. So a good opportunity here for the visitors to try and get an early lead in the game, and they'll have worked on these set pieces into the near post. Only half cleared by Louisville City. It's back with David Mia. He can't work it down that right-hand flank though, and as a result, Louisville City will once again be able to set. This, I should point out, is a repeat of the opening game from the 2021 USL season, where Louisville City also played Atlanta United 2 at home, and they won that game by 2-0. Paulo Del Piccolo scoring both of those goals, and he takes his place in the midfield this evening as well. If you are late to the broadcast, it's Ben Jacobs and Gary Bailey, and Louisville City lining up with Morton, Sharpie, Winder and Dia, Gibson, Bone, Gonzalez, Del Piccolo and Perez, and Harris and Ombi. Back three for the home side, and it's a 4-3-3 for Atlanta United 2. Reyes, McFadden, Brick, Cobb and Ambrose, Morales, Firmino, the new signing, Robbie Mertz, the captain, Centeno, Conway and Mia completing the lineup for Jack Collison's side. And Jack Collison, many of you of course will know, is the former West Ham United midfielder.
Interesting, these outfits are more blue than I mean, they're known as the boys in purple, Lou City. I'm looking at it going, that's not quite purple, that's more blue. So a bit of a surprise, maybe something different for the Lou City fans as the flag goes up there. But just early on, if Lou City fans watching were thinking it's going to be easy, they'll know from the matches last season it was a battle. In fact, they lost one and drew one, Lou City, and won 2 of them of the 4 matches. So it wasn't easy. And already you can see Atlanta too have been able to put a bit of pressure on, attack in certain areas. So maybe this is going to be closer than a lot of people think.
It's a purple that you've accidentally washed with your favorite pink shirt.
You could describe it like that, yeah. But it is blue, isn't it? It's not my eyes playing tricks for the boys in purple. They are playing in blue.
We're calling them the boys in purple, but you're absolutely right. It looks like a deep sea blue to me as well. 5 minutes gone, Louisville City 0, Atlanta United 2-0. First half, of course, and it is great to have your company. And the first half is brought to you by Commonwealth Credit Union, who have been bettering lives in the communities they serve since 1951. To learn more, you can visit WeSeeYouDifferently.com. CU is spelled C-U as opposed to S-E-E-Y-O-U. If you're looking to type in that website, visit WeSeeYouDifferently.com. First set piece centrally here for Louisville City. Del Piccolo, 1 of 2 standing over the ball, and he'll deliver it incisively. It almost finds its way all the way to the goal. A scramble and a volleyed shot, which is blocked away. Golden opportunity. Corbin Bone. And it looks like in that scramble in the box, Josh Winder, the 16-year-old centre-back, is down as well. But that was a really good opportunity for Corbin Bone there, the veteran winger. Free kick coming in from Del Piccolo here, Gary.
Just have a look at the keeper here. Comes out and has a punch, and I think he just follows through with his elbow. Obviously totally accidental, but big Vicente Reyes have a look, he'll punch it, and then after he punches there, have a look there, he just follows through and catches Josh Winder. So yeah, he's got it in the face, and on a cold day that hurts more than normal, I guess.
Winder is tough, trust me when I say that, but he may just need to bite on something soft in order to stop any potential bleeding. A shout out though to Noah Cobb, because play continued there, and as the volley came in from Corbin Bone, Cobb was in the right place at the right time, otherwise that ball might have found its way into the bottom left-hand corner. But it stays 0-0 after 6 minutes, and Louisville City are starting to find their rhythm now. Brick down the left-hand side, and he's dispossessed. That's strong hustle in defensive midfield by the home side, Manny Perez in particular. And now it's worked over to the left-hand side. Jorge Gonzalez, the 23-year-old Spaniard, he'll win his side a throw-in. Crowd is still building here at the Lynn Family Stadium. I don't think we're going to get over the 10,000 capacity mark, and the weather, Gary, probably has a lot to do with that, doesn't it?
I think it does. I mean, they normally get a fantastic crowd. In fact, they lead the league in attendances, averaging over 10,000. But when it's that cold, when it's below 32 degrees Fahrenheit, and there's a wind chill factor thrown in, maybe they prefer to sit at home and watch it on TV, and I wouldn't blame them. But normally they get an absolutely fantastic support base at the Lynn Family Stadium. As
a former goalkeeper, you're lucky because you're always wearing gloves, but you're not moving as much as other players. So what did you do when you were out there on a really cold night?
Just run on the spot, because you're right, you get to wear gloves. Although outfield players these days can wear gloves if you want. You can just see there, Mateo Brick has got gloves on the number 40 there. For Atlanta United too. The problem is the keepers, you can't run around as much as the outfield players, but you try and sprint on the spot and keep your inner body temperature nice and high. And but it isn't great. These super cold days are not wonderful for keepers.
Louisville City starting now to shade the possession. That ball back to the new goalkeeper, Kyle Morton, who we were talking about in the build-up to this game, the 27-year-old who used to be with Houston Dynamo, had a decent save percentage as well in 2021. Into midfield though, and it's the visitors that gather the ball. Robbie Mertz at the moment is trying to pull the strings. A neat ball out to the left-hand side now, and that will allow Brick to chip one forwards, and that's well weighted and taken down as well. And the snapshot towards the far right-hand post from Jackson Conway, half a chance for the Leeds-born American.
Well, it just shows you how good he is. We mentioned him when we had a look at the team lineup at the start of the game, and he's played a number of times for the Atlanta United MLS side, and you see how quickly he brought that down and hits it early. Just went past the goal, but that's the danger that Atlanta United to bring to this match, is they do have players capable of putting pressure on Kyle Morton. And without Cam Lancaster up front, they're missing a massive piece of this Lou City attack. The only question is can the likes of Wilson Harris, who's number 14 up front there, who's pretty much replacing Cam Lancaster in terms of being the main striker, what can he do for Lou City here tonight?
Wilson Harris has impressed in pre-season. Other players in the side like Del Piccolo and Ownby capable of goals as well, but it's been an impressive start by the visitors, and here is Ownby for Lou City, trying to set them on the back foot, but he'll give away a careless foul on that occasion. And once again we see Atlanta more organised at the moment and in their rhythm comparative to the home side. Well, don't miss a minute of the action in 2022, whether your club is on the road or at home. You can catch nearly every second of the USL Championship action on ESPN+, the home to the USL, MLS, La Liga, the Bundesliga, and the UFC as well. Here's an opportunity across the middle of the goal, and it's a snapshot coming in again from Bone, and then Ownby just couldn't make clean contact from the edge of the area. Still, the chance continues, though, for the home side as they work it out to the left now. Ownby just on the edge of the area on the near side, but it goes backwards instead on this occasion to Tyler Gibson. Ownby trying to peel towards the near post, as is Tyler Gibson too. And Lou City just haven't found that penetrating final ball when they've got into wide areas, which is surprising, Gary, because that's their strength down the channels.
It certainly is, but it's the likes of Corbin Bone and Brian Ownby. You mentioned them, and they sometimes tuck in as they did there, but they've got so much experience. They are so dangerous. They're both in their 30s, so they have the knowledge of how to get through defenses, and they well blocked, good sort of defensive blocking from Atlanta too. But I think we're going to see plenty of that here tonight from the boys in white. Picked up
Deep inside his own half by Corbin Bone, 33-year-old, looped down the left-hand flank. Ownby in a bit of space here, unused, and that was perhaps a little bit selfish on that occasion, because Ownby was in a fair amount of space on the right-hand side.
Yeah, Wilson Harris there just cutting inside, and you had a little glimpse. You're right, he had Ownby as an option, but he felt he was good enough to have a dip at goal, and didn't quite work out for him. But you've got so many different options there. Have a look. It's a lovely first touch. Gets around his player there. Has a head up in the end. Yeah, the shot's a little bit too high. It's not his best there, Wilson Harris. Maybe he could have played it out to Ownby, but you get the sense that there's a combination just building up there for the Lou City fans. Well, that's one way to stay warm and support your team at the same time.
Louisville faithful behind the goal, bobbing up and down. You need a beard like that gentleman we just saw as well. That'll keep you warm in 27 degrees. And what will also be warm is if Louisville City can score and give their crowd something to cheer about. Wilson nearly able to force the ball to his left there. But again, tight defending by the visitors. He's down on the floor is the visiting captain, Robbie Mertz. And it will be Louisville City ball.
There's a lovely little chip in, isn't there? And this is Jorge Gonzalez just setting it up. It just didn't quite fall for Wilson Harris, but great awareness from Jorge Gonzalez. He's so used to trying to set up Cam Lancaster. It's that same combination building here tonight.
So it's a third free kick. Out comes the magic spray. Robbie Mertz, the captain, not happy about it.
He's still arguing.
And it's in a golden position here to swing the ball in towards either the penalty spot or the back post. Josh Winder is one of the players at the back post. Instead, I think that was a shot, and it nearly found its way into the back of the net. It came in from Corbin Bone, and half-hearted appeals from some of the home players for a corner. Was that clever or a waste?
To me, it's a bit of a waste. I think the keeper's got that fully covered, Vicente Reyes. Have a look at it from the keeper's point of view. It comes up, it's going over the crossbar. He just sees it clear. So if it was a shot, it wasn't a great one, and there were good options in the box, so maybe wasted opportunity.
Conway couldn't quite thread the ball forwards to Eric Centeno, who we haven't seen too much of yet. But generally, Jack Collison will be the happier of the two managers through the first 15 minutes.
Yeah, his team have done well. I mean, you know, especially coming to Lynn Family Stadium, if you can be 0-0, as you say, up and very close to 15 minutes, it's a good start. And look at, they're actually putting some pressure on the Atlanta United 2 team in white, although in that case, unfairly so.
Down on the ground is Jorge Gonzalez. Morales will be punished for that, a little bit too exuberant. And there's just a bit of niggle all of a sudden.
Yes, there was early on. Robbie Mertz getting into it, and he's back there again, just working the referee, Melvin Rivas. There's it's an arm and almost an elbow across the face of Jorge Gonzalez. You've got to be very careful with elbows these days. So a warning being given, and they're going to have to tread carefully from there. Atlanta 2.
No card shown. A replay suggests that that could have been a yellow card. And it's a free kick to Lou City. Worked well to the left-hand side. Gonzalez back up on his feet now, but shrugged away by Aidan McFadden. That was excellent positional defending, and he makes sure that his side has a goal kick. McFadden, who loves to get forward, top scorer for Atlanta United 2 last campaign with 8 goals, but he showed there his defensive qualities as well.
In fact, those 8 goals are the highest ever scored by a player for Atlanta United 2, so well done there to Aidan McFadden.
And there'll be a handball here. So just over 15 minutes gone, and this portion of tonight's game is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. 0-0, cagey start. A few half chances for either side. Conway has shot wide of the right-hand post for the visitors. And we saw a volley that was blocked from Corbin Bone by Noah Brick. Almost picked up on the edge of the area there by Wilson Harris, and then in towards the back post, and that strong goalkeeping by Vicente Reyes. He had to be quick off his line, Gary.
He had to be quick, and he had to be brave. There was a couple of forwards ready to strike and put a boot in, and the big goalkeeper, they're only 18 years of age, the Chilean, was not scared at all to dive out amongst those boots and grab that ball. Good goalkeeping.
Perez on the ball. Not too much space down the channels for Lou City, and they're forced backwards again. Atlanta United 2 pressing from the front. Long ball forwards by Morton, a little bit too strong on that occasion, and Ambrose will pick it up and then come across to his fellow centre-back, Cobb. Good shape at the moment to the visiting side.
They've got some good skill because there's high pressure coming from Lou City, but they're playing through it, though this time they decide to go long. But impressive start from Atlanta United 2. Must have been a bit worrying when your opening game is away at Louisville City. You know, twice the champions. They've got to the Eastern Conference final, and as you mentioned, so unlucky to lose to Tampa Bay Rowdies. So you know, when you come into Lynn Family Stadium, in for one hell of a match. But Atlanta 2 seem up for it. They're sort of, so far anyway, holding their own.
How much of a motivation will their exit to the Rowdies be in 2021? As a footballer, you do want to forget about the past, but where you can use heartbreak to your advantage to motivate, that can also be helpful.
Yeah, well, we just saw Danny Cruz, the coach there, now in his first real full season, and he did a great job last year. And I think it was the last minute of normal time that Tampa equalized, wanted an extra time. So it really is tough, but you're right. You use it as a wind-up. Come on, lads, you're going to go back and do it all over again. But what he wants, and when he spoke to us on the call, he said he wants to win the Eastern Conference. He wants to win the overall league, and he wants to take it from there. So he's got lofty ambitions, and so he should. He's got a fantastic squad. And what we see on the pitch, there's a couple of really good players on the bench that he can bring on as well.
Conway surging forwards. There's an outlet on the left-hand side. Mertz will have time to pick out a teammate. back towards the edge of the area. Not necessarily the wisest decision. Firmino, the new signing, who scored in the last pre-season victory for Atlanta United 2. And at the other end, long-range effort comes in from Gonzalez. Didn't really get too much power behind that, and it's a simple enough save for Vicente Reyes in the Atlanta United 2 goal.
It's a good counter-attack by Lou City, but just felt they could have done something more at the end. There was virtually 3 against 3. There were options for Jorge Gonzalez to have kept going, committed 1 or 2 defenders and then played in someone else, but he felt he could beat Vicente Reyes with a good strike. Well, unfortunately, it wasn't a really good strike, as you say. It was half hit, but that's the danger there. A good counter-attack side, Lou City, when they need to be. So something for Atlanta 2 to keep an eye on.
Mir had spread the ball neatly to that right-hand side. Conway was calling for a cross early. Instead, it's a short pass back to Firmino, who's had 2 or 3 touches now in the last few minutes, having been relatively spectator-like in the first 15 minutes or so of the game. And as I said before, he is capable of goals and assists, as he showed in pre-season. But it's Lou City that come forwards, nearly forced into the path of Bone, who continues to hustle. But once again, this young but organised back line for Atlanta United to continue to hold their shape.
Yep, they do. Impressed so far, but it's a long way to go in this match, and the pressure will keep coming. And that's the other part of it for a team that has 6 teenagers is, you know, you can last 15 minutes against this sort of pressure, but can you last 90 minutes? Oh, sliding tackle there. Got to be careful. But can you last 90 minutes? That's more the question. You can see Jack Collison, the coach, down your left-hand side. They're just complaining to the ref about that sliding tackle there from Lou City.
That was exactly the kind of challenge Collison would relish and love when he was playing for West Ham in the Premier League. Ownby comes forwards. Gonzalez was calling for it on the edge of the area. Instead, it went short to Del Piccolo. And now the ball out to the right-hand side. Gonzalez wins the first header dangerously as well, and that almost fell to Wilson Harris, who was setting himself to fire that into the back of the net, but the ball just didn't have enough roll on it to fall into his path. Still, though, Lou City continue to cause problems down the left-hand side in particular, and now they set themselves again. This is a patient phase of play by the home side at the moment, and again, it's down the left to Ownby. He goes back to Dia. A lot of comfortable ball-playing defenders and midfielders in this Lou City lineup, and they're showing that here as they try and find the gaps, and Gonzalez nearly able to find that killer through ball. It was Bone on that occasion who was waiting down the left-hand side. Just no final product, though, from the home side at the moment.
Not as yet. It looks like he's
Here's
onside.
Conway onside, fires it straight at the goalkeeper, and Kyle Morton shows his worth, having said in the build-up to this game that he would stand up and fill the sticks with authority. And although it was a good height for the goalkeeper, he made sure that he stood tall and made the save.
That's a fantastic save. Was he offside, Conway? It looked like he might have been. If he wasn't, there's some poor defending at the back, but ultimately the goalkeeper, that's a good save as well. It's not at the goalkeeper, it's slightly to his right, and he gets up a strong arm and makes the save.
Looks blooded as well.
I think it might have come off his hand into his nose and given him you're quite right, a bloody nose there. But good strike, though, from Jackson Conway. Lots of force behind it. But if it wasn't offside, then a couple of question marks about the defending at the back there for Lou City.
Conway simply went for power, didn't he? And it was a super save by Morton. Strong wrist. So much so that the ball ricocheted back up onto his nose, and he'll wipe that away. Guess if we add a bit more blood red to these bluey purple shirts, they'll turn even bluer, won't they?
Yeah, well, a sore nose is sore at the best of times, but on a freezing cold night, it's... But he's tough at the back there, Kyle Morton. And there's a couple of football folk who believe that he could be a very, very valuable addition to Lou City, because if they can have the best defensive record, last season I think it was second best to Tampa Bay, if they have the best and they can get Cam Lancaster back and they've got Wilson Harris, they'll have a fantastic attack as well, then absolutely have every chance of going all the way this season.
Again, Lou City come down that left-hand side where they've had a fair amount of joy. It's Dia, the fullback, who does like to overlap and get forward, and he'll win his side a corner. Aidan McFadden taking no chances. So this is a Wi-Fi corner. As we take another look at the blooded nose of Morton. Why has he not wiped it away yet?
I think he has it. Probably just his shirt's all stained on the front. It's probably continuing to run. But he's tough. He's just shaking his head and getting on with it.
So in comes the corner from the far left-hand side, and the delivery is too close to Reyes, who takes it with ease.
When you're 6'4" as a goalkeeper and they put it right on top of you, it makes it a rather comfortable save. You've got to try and get it sort of 6, 7, 8 yards out and make the goalkeeper make a decision. Does he come? Does he stay? And that indecision you can pounce on it if the goalkeeper's not sure. But putting it in his hands like that makes his life relatively easy.
Sharpie hits the deck. Play continues and doesn't get a whistle, but that might benefit Lou City as Ownby comes down the right-hand side. Decent ball into the near post, but nobody had peeled away. Ownby shows good hustle, though, to pick it up once again. And then the cross to the back post. The glancing header is tipped round the post. It's an excellent save by Reyes. Del Piccolo, who scored in the opener when these sides met 12 months ago, nearly doing it again with the glancing header. But that's a wonderful save by the Chilean goalkeeper.
It's a beautiful ball in as well, Del Piccolo, and maybe, he just does get a fingertip on it, doesn't he? Might have just been going wide. Hard to see there, but that big 6'4" frame gets across. But they haven't given a corner, so the referee obviously didn't see the touch.
Definitely a corner, and the replay showing that. So Atlanta United 2 have got away with one, and they'll win a free kick of their own here just inside the Lou City half. Just coming back to the Morton save, you yourself as a goalkeeper would have been trained not to fall victim to what is often colloquially called chocolate wrists. Can you sort of explain what that concept is and why Morton's save was so good? Because he made sure that he kept firm wrists.
Yeah, absolutely. The whole of your body has to firm up when that ball comes, because it comes at such pace and power that if your legs aren't strong and your shoulders and arms aren't strong, it'll just push them aside. He was rock solid there, and that's a part of goalkeeping. It takes a lot of training, a lot of weights, a lot of strength. And Kyle Morton gave a wonderful example of a great block, fantastic save. But it must have come off his arm into his nose, onto his nose, for him to have a bloodied nose, because I'm sure it first hit his hand.
Well, we just saw a moment ago one ball knock another ball off the stand. So what better time to tell you about Select, who is proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship and celebrating its 75th anniversary as well. You can choose what you play with at www.selectsportamerica.com. Select, League's choice, player's choice. Ownby trying to chase down the right-hand side, and that hustle wins his side a throw-in. Manny Perez to take it, is capable of a long throw-in, and thought about it instantly, but instead will go short to Ownby, who then just dinks it down the right-hand side again. Corbin Bone nearly forcing his way to the byline, but it's all the way back with Josh Winder instead, the 6', 16-year-old. Certainly doesn't look 16, and that's a well-weighted ball to the left-hand side. Bone is on the edge of the area. And he will try and pick it up to continue this attack and work it to Ownby on the right-hand side. This is good movement by Bone into the near post. Again, though, well organised at the back, and it will be Brick who can at least half clear and then prod it away back up towards the halfway line. Sharpie out towards Perez, who cuts inside. Gibson now. Winder. Space on the left-hand side. Del Piccolo hovering around the penalty area, asking for an earlier cross. Fadden will bring it away for the visiting side.
Good pressure, isn't it, from Lou City? They're making it very difficult for Atlanta 2 to play out from the back. And they're pouncing on every problem. Look at the fans. How can you not be wearing a top and it's freezing cold there? Wow, that's commitment. No question about that.
That's the purple we were expecting from the kits. Everywhere. His glasses, his hair, his vest. And probably his skin by full time.
Yeah, absolutely.
28 minutes gone. Louisville City FC 0, Atlanta United 2-0. Number of new faces on show. Who's impressed you so far in the opening half an hour?
Difficult to say. There hasn't really been any sort of fantastic moves. Lots of effort, lots of prodding and probing. Of course, Corbin Byrne and Brian Ownby, as always, are creative for Lou City. Wilson Harris has had a few little moments where he looks nice and bright. And as far as Atlanta too are concerned, at the back, the youngsters, Noah Cobb's only 16. He's done well. Mathieu Brick, 17 at left back, has been solid. So, but long way to go in this match. You know, I'm sure we'll see more players sort of step up and be counted as this match goes on.
Conway has had the best chance of the game for Atlanta United too. A rasping effort hit with power that was well saved by Kyle Morton. Tipped it with his right wrist back onto his nose, which is still a little bit blooded. And that kept the score at 0-0, approaching the half an hour mark. Opening game of the USL season 2022 for both of these sides. And the same game as we saw 12 months ago. There you can just see the blood has subsided a little bit, but he will definitely have a sore nose tomorrow morning, but hopefully get the consolation prize comparative to that bruising of a clean sheet.
That would be the aim, but it's not turning out to be easy. And in fact, Danny Cruz telling us that he finds this Atlanta 2 team a dangerous group. He doesn't feel they get enough credit for the way they play. And they're very, very good in transition. And he said, and comfortable on the ball, which he's been proven correct. They have played it around nicely, but I just get the sense that Lou City are probing more on the edge of the box.
Here they come again on the edge of the box. Ownby going for the header. Goalkeeper drops it, but they always get the whistle, these goalkeepers, during that scenario. The ball is forced into the back of the net, but Ownby is going to be penalised for a foul.
Yeah, I think it is a foul as well, because Vincente Rey is gathering the ball when he gets hit by Ownby. You can see it's hurt Ownby as well. I don't think it was anything malicious about it. They were both going for the ball, but if the keeper has his hands on the ball and you hit him, then it will be a foul. And let's have a look and see if we can get a closer idea. A little bit of a floating ball into the box. Keeper comes. Yeah, he's got both hands on the ball when he gets hit by Ownby. So there's no doubt it is a foul. I just feel those balls should be whipped in, because you give the goalkeeper too much time to get there. If you whip it in, then it's a lot more difficult for the big keeper to reach the ball.
Ownby not only penalised, but walking a little bit gingerly now.
Yeah. Well, you want to run into a 6'4" goalkeeper? Good luck.
Free kick then to Atlanta United 2, as we've just crossed over the half an hour mark. Chances few and far between, but Lou City with the lion's share of the possession, predominantly targeting that left-hand side when they're going forwards, and Danny Cruz may want one or two players to vary it up a bit and switch the possession. Atlanta United playing a 4-3-3 and have largely sat deep and pressed when they can off the ball, and they've had a little bit of joy with long diagonal balls when they've switched the possession, and Conway has proved a useful target man up front so far, and that one chance is the best chance of the game through 32 minutes. Lovely little turn there, 35 yards out, and Ownby, who is moving freely, will pick up possession, but a short pass and a dangerous one from Sharpie, and Atlanta United 2 almost had numbers there, but the ball out to that left-hand side was just a little bit too strong, and Mia couldn't quite do enough with it. He did well, in fact, just to slide and keep the ball in play, but that stopped any chance of a counter-attack. Sharpie out to Dia. Hasn't really got forward on the overlap too many times, despite the home side's possession in that particular part of the field in the first half. He's been quite disciplined and conservative, and as the game goes on, may get the green light from Danny Cruz to get forwards in more advanced positions. Reyes' clearance was a little bit short, but Ownby won't pick it up. And I did promise you that we would have some trivia right at the beginning of the match, where I get to put Gary Bailey on the spot. And tonight's trivia is brought to you by Tony's Break and Alignment. It's a did you know question. Who is the only team to beat Lou City in their season opener? A, North Carolina FC. B, Indy 11. And C, Charlotte Independence. 4-1-1 is the record in season openers. We know that it's not Louisville City because we've told you already that Louisville City beat Atlanta by 2-0 in the game that they played 12 months ago. So we know that it's not the visiting side, Atlanta United 2. Any thoughts, Gary?
I do, but I can't give away the answer because it's for the folk at home to try and figure it out. I'm not saying I'm right. I have an answer, but it might not be the right one. But it's not often, as you say, 4-1-1. It's not often that Lou City do get beat.
So fans can engage with us via Twitter. Give us your thoughts, and in about 5 minutes, just before half-time, we will give you the answer, and we'll let Gary have his best guess as well. That's a decent ball whipped into the back post and then fired across the face of the goal just a little bit more rashly than the visiting team would have liked. And you can see there Jack Collison not happy at all. He knows that was a half chance.
It was a half chance, and the ball in the box wasn't a great one. It was overhit too high. If there's a little bit of quality there, you give the players in the center of the box something to work with, but unfortunately the chance was lost. But good pressure here coming from Atlanta too.
Yeah, they continue to give the defenders no time on the ball. Lou City have given it away here once more, and Atlanta United 2 are growing in a little bit of confidence. It's probably a little bit too strong for Gonzalez. Reyes spreads it out to that left-hand side. Mia had dropped short to try and make himself an option. Instead, it's up to Conway. He didn't win it, but he did enough to keep the attack going here. Mertz, well-weighted ball out to the right-hand side. Conway makes his way into the area. Mia is at the back post as well. Not enough on the cross, though. Both teams will just be looking to improve that final delivery, as Gonzalez has it on the halfway line for Louisville City.
It is a frustrating situation for Lou City because at home they're expected to win. They're expected to have a good start to the season with all the players they've brought in, and just that final ball in the box just hasn't had enough quality. They haven't really tested Vicente Reyes, and what they have sent to the big goalkeeper he's dealt with fairly comfortably. So no doubt Danny Cruz is thinking, how can I improve this team?
Bone couldn't force it into the box. We'll get a second opportunity. Ombi is screaming for it at the back post. Gonzalez, though, using hot feet to try and win his side a corner. He thought he'd succeeded, but the officials at the moment pointing to a goal kick as we see jumpers and scarves being passed up the gantry. No sign of vests with that particular crop of Lou City fans.
And they're all wrapped up nice and warm there. But just talking about Danny Cruz trying to do something to get this crowd alive, and he has players on the bench that he can turn to, obviously not now, but in the second half. And I think one of them is Musha Galusa, someone who's a good goal scorer, someone who can run it back fours and cause problems. I think he might be someone that the coach could turn to in the second half if he can't get a breakthrough before then.
Del Piccolo on the ball. Good record, as we mentioned earlier, against Atlanta United 2. Lovely footwork there by Ombi, and it should break for the opening goal. Bone with the effort. Super save by Reyes. Instinct to get down low and turn it away. Bone should have scored, but Reyes with a standout save to keep it at 0-0.
That is an absolutely brilliant save from the big man in goals. Ombi down this right-hand side, causing problems. Ball just rolls a little bit loose here. It gets knocked back in. And then Corbin Bone has this effort with the goalkeeper, just tips over the bar. Brilliant save from Reyes.
Chilean keeping his side in this game at 0-0. It is a corner kick, though. A Wi-Fi corner. Bone, who won it, is the man to take it in towards the near post, to scramble in the box. That's cleared off the line. Two golden opportunities in the space of just 30 seconds for Lou City to take the lead. Atlanta United 2, though, very wise to have a man back. I think it might have been Aidan McFadden. And at the other end, and it is end-to-end all of a sudden, Atlanta United 2 come forwards. And Conway absolutely had set himself there for a bicycle kick, only to realise the ball wasn't going to quite reach him.
He was fencing it. I don't know if the wind caught it or he misjudged it.
Brick into the box. And that almost fell at the back post to Conway as well, but Del Piccolo will get it away. And the game's just opened up in this last 5 minutes.
It did. A fantastic save by the keeper, followed by a clearance off the line. And you just felt that Lou City were getting on top of things and something might break for them eventually.
Ombi, he started that run brilliantly, and Reyes straight off his line with the diving header. Pretty dramatic by the goalkeeper. Probably could have got to it with his feet, but took no chances. And he's been the star man for Atlanta United through the first 40 minutes.
Yeah, he's come for crosses and dealt with them. He's been the sweeper keeper on the edge of his box, and he's made a couple of, or one in particular, one fantastic save. But the fact that he's under pressure and he is so, you know, the sort of man of the match through 39, 40 minutes shows that Lou City are on top and pressing, and maybe this first goal is going to come.
Perez to Ombi into a dangerous area, but nobody was at the back post. Nothing wrong with the delivery though, and it's another throw in to Lou City as we take another look at this clearance off the line.
Yeah, it's a big scramble here, and then someone sticks out a boot and it just gets cleared off the line. Good defending.
Wave and wave of pressure now though, as Gonzalez to Dia, who is forwards, and he couldn't quite cut it back to Paulo Del Piccolo, who was waiting in a dangerous position. But that's the first real time we've seen Dia surge forwards, and his pace can definitely cause Atlanta United 2 problems.
Yeah, he's a good player. I mean, Jonathan Gomez, who went to Real Sociedad, is a real talent and a big loss to Lou City. But bringing in Amadou Dia, I think he's a similar type of player. Bombs down that left-hand side and gets dangerous balls in the box.
Another corner. Bone to deliver into the near post. Not the best delivery. He'll get a second opportunity though, and from a more preferable angle as well. Maybe should have crossed that first time. Instead took an extra touch, and it was too strong for the willing run at the back post of Ombi, who had no chance of getting his head to it.
Yeah, just a little quality again. You've got to be better quality in the box and give the players a good chance to get on the end of something.
Let's give you the answer to our trivia question then. Lou City 4-1-1 in home openers. Who was the only team to beat Lou City in their season opener? Gary, was your guess right?
It actually was, but can I be honest, it was a total guess.
Always guess A if you're going to guess. I'm telling you, if you're doing a pub quiz and there's 5 options, always guess C. If there's 3 options, always guess A. And now our producers will change it to B or C for the next game that we do together. So 0-0, just a few minutes remaining until half-time. Both goalkeepers have had standout opening halves.
I think that the biggest problem, though, for Atlanta, too, is they've only had one chance. Great chance it was as well, and fantastic save by Kyle Morton of Jackson Conway. That's the only thing they've created in this half so far. And on the other hand, it's been Lou City with, sure, what is it, 8, 9, 10 efforts around goals that you could probably count. So not enough coming from the visitors, but they'll be happy at 0-0.
Another Wi-Fi corner, Bone to take it. This one has a bit more purchase towards the back post, and that's another really good take by Reyes, because Ombi was standing right behind him, waiting to try and guide that into the back of the net.
Yeah, good catch under big pressure. So I say you want to keep it away from this goalkeeper, and too many crosses are getting close to him. Look at this pressure from Lou City. Look, they're hunting down on the edge of the box, just waiting for one little error.
As a goalkeeper, Gary, you never got this opportunity when you played to benefit from the rule of being able to pass it out from your own box. But so often what we see is a goalkeeper play a short pass under the newish rule, and immediately the team is hounded. How do you think you'd have fared, and do you like this tactical decision, even under pressure, to play out like that from the back?
If it's on, yes, but we see too many goalkeepers try and make it happen, try and force it. I think there's nothing wrong with a long ball to your centre forward and try and pick up the knockdowns. And as we saw with Paris Saint-Germain and Donnarumma, you can make an error that can turn the entire match. So I'm not a big fan of goalkeepers taking too many risks, to be honest. I think if you're not sure, knock it long, play safe.
2 minutes remaining plus added time until the break. Lou City 0, Atlanta United 2-0. Few signs of goals coming in terms of the space that the home side are creating, particularly down the left. And now down the right as well as they switch the play to Ownby. An incisive pass into the box from him, but again, no real space for Bone. He's immediately hounded by a couple of white shirts. And that's good work as well off the ball by Robbie Mertz, just to try and push Lou City back. There is space on the left-hand side, though. Ownby and Bone both calling for it. Bone in particular, just to the right of the penalty area, was in a lot of space, but the ball went low instead of just being floated up. And as a result, he wasn't able to get onto it. And Atlanta United 2 just digging in now, trying to get to half-time. And that's a welcome and cheap free kick given away by Del Piccolo that can just waste some time from the visitors' point of view. And if they can get in at 0-0, that will be an excellent first 45 of their 2022 USL season.
Yep, certainly would be. I don't think that coach Jack Collison could have asked for much more than to be level at half-time at Lynn Family Stadium. But again, given the strength on the bench for Lou City, the quality players they can bring on, and the fact that they can keep working these young teenagers, you get the sense that they will get stronger in the second half, Lou City.
Aidan McFadden is just complaining about the foul on Dia.
I think it's Dia who should be complaining. He got hit.
Been a few brutal challenges in this first 45 minutes. There'll be 1 minute of added time as well, starting shortly. Let's take another look. Looked 50-50 to me.
It did, to be honest. It did look a bit 50-50-ish.
So into 1 minute of added time. Stoppage time is presented by the Louisville Mohammed Ali International Airport. The first half has flown by.
It has. And these fans are still singing and doing their thing. Absolutely brilliant.
You say that, but he's put on a coat in
Yes,
breaking news.
yes.
The vest is gone.
Well observed.
He lasted about 25 seconds, but a black coat is now on.
It's a 27 degrees and a wind chill factor.
And I think it will get colder as the game progresses.
Oof.
Ten seconds remaining, so this goal kick should just about do us from Reyes. He's been the star man in the first half, in particular a low diving save from Bone around the post to keep it at 0-0. And at the other end, Conway's had a great opportunity. Here's Mia trying to generate one final chance, but the 1 minute is up. Couldn't get a shot in. Cross isn't bad towards the back of the 6-yard area, but Gonzalez will bring it away, and there is the half-time whistle. Even Stevens, chances for both sides. Both goalkeepers have put in star performances, and it is 0-0 at the break.
It is, but certainly been Lou City on the attack most of the time. Vicente Reyes in goals for Atlanta 2 has been brilliant. Yes, Carl Morton had one good save to make, but just the single save. But for Lou City, they've got to find a way through, and they have a couple of options on the bench in the second half. Let's see what the coach, Danny Cruz, decides to do.
Half-time score brought to you by Serve Pro at the break. It is Lou City 0, Atlanta United 2-0. And we will be back in just a moment with the half-time show, talking about saves from both goalkeepers on a cold night at the Lynn Family Stadium. It's 0-0.
Honey, did you get our account switched over to Commonwealth Credit Union?
Yeah, I got that taken care of, sweetie.
You switched over everything. All our automatic payments, direct deposits, even our savings account?
Yep, I told you I'd get it taken care of.
You should never get stuck with a checking account you hate. That's why Commonwealth Credit Union has made things easy. Try Switch It today, only from Commonwealth Credit Union. Here, we see you differently.
These new Rally's Fry Season chicken tenders are for Joe. Joe wants his son's project to be #1. Woo. So we took our #1 famous seasoned fries and added the same secret blend of spices to create Rally's new Fry Season tenders. Made with 100% white meat chicken and all coated with our famous fry seasoning. Now that's a winning combination. Genius recognizes genius, Joe. Come get your new Fry Season tenders. You've earned it. Join Rally's Rewards for a free Buford or Mother Cruncher.
Louisville is home. When I hear Louisville, I think loving, friendly people, but hardworking people at the same time. Pride of Louisville never leaves you. I feel like my children are well-rounded people because they've met a diverse group of people. Just in living and experiencing the city is tremendous.
WDRB and WBKI are the broadcast home for Lou City FC Live. Tonight's game was presented by Commonwealth Credit Union. We see you differently.
He's got two! A shooting star for Orange County! And that's full time. The old guard with a new trophy. Orange County wins the USL Championship final.
Welcome back to the halftime show, brought to you by Serve Pro, the official cleanup and restoration partner of Louisville City FC. Ben Jacobs and Gary Bailey with you. Of course, it is the opening game of the 2022 season, but 2021 brought plenty of drama. Louisville were knocked out in heartbreak against the Tampa Bay Rowdies. And as you can see, their coach, Gary Neal Collins, won the 2021 Coach of the Year.
Yeah, fantastic season for Tampa Bay. Second season in a row they made the final, and unlucky for him, Orange County just too good on the day, but fantastic defense, best defense, Evan Laro, goalkeeper of the year. So much credit to the manager and the players of Tampa Bay Rowdies.
Goalkeeper of the Year 2021, Evan Lauro, a man who has impressed Gary. And let's move on to the 2021 MVP and Golden Boot winner, 25 goals, rivaling a record set by the injured Cameron Lancaster.
Yeah, he did, and he was very, very close to beating it. He sort of lost a bit of speed and emphasis towards the end of the season, but take nothing away from Hadji Barry or El Paso Locomotive, top in the Mountain Division. Absolutely fantastic. Mark Lowry, the coach there, doing a brilliant job, and he's now moved on, and John Hutchinson's taken his place.
Just taking a look through some of the division winners. Phoenix Rising first in the Pacific Division, 25-7 record for them.
Yeah, Rick Shines, you can see him on the far side. Another great job he did, and I think there were many people's favorite to meet Tampa Bay in the final, and they just got pipped, but they're a wonderful side. Lou City as well, another season where they topped their Central Division, and Danny Cruz doing a brilliant job. But as you said, heartbreak, lost to Tampa Bay in the Eastern Conference final.
Injury time equalised that took that game to extra time, and then they lost to the Tampa Bay Rowdies, who won the Atlantic Division.
Yeah, as we mentioned, a brilliant side, and we've talked about them in defence with Forrest Lasso as well, but up front, Gwenzadi, a brilliant goal scorer, and once again, expect them to be there. But the surprise team, the one that popped up and did it and won the cup, Orange County.
Orange County, the winners of the 2021 USL Championship. They are in action as well today, taking on the Colorado Springs Switchbacks. But our focus is on the Lynn Family Stadium, Louisville against Atlanta United 2. Second half coming shortly.
Birmingham. And all the goal scorers getting in on the action today. Legion FC, how about that?
Sebastian Doggart from distance, and he draws it! Wow! What a goal!
Goes topics. I mean, yeah, let's talk about today when we go topics.
Roll it down.
I am.
You don't need a car to listen to Sirius XM. You can listen anywhere. You know that, right?
What? Kevin Hart's Laugh Out Loud Radio.
Kevin, you could use your phone.
What? What?
Alexa, play Kevin Hart's Laugh Out Loud Radio on Sirius XM.
What?
This is how I know you're getting old. I guess that was it.
What?
goal scorers getting in on the action today. Legion FC, how about that?
Sebastian Dahlgren from distance, and he draws it! Wow! What a goal!
Imagine yourself in a new Toyota.
Wow. Perfect. I think red is more me. Giddy up.
Now get 2.49 APR financing on an adventurous new 22 RAV4 or the electrified 40 MPG RAV4 Hybrid. Plus, you get 2 years no-cost maintenance.
Ready, set, go get your Toyota today.
Toyota, let's go places.
Welcome back to the Lynn Family Stadium, 0-0 between Lou City and Atlanta United 2. The halftime show is brought to you by Serve Pro, the official cleanup and restoration partner of Louisville City FC. Chances few and far between. Both goalkeepers, though, have made standout saves. We'll bring you the highlights in just a moment. Ben Jacobs and Gary Bailey with you. And Gary, the USL is back, and there's been a few changes.
Yeah, 2 new clubs, Detroit City FC and Monterey Bay FC, and looking forward to seeing them in action. And I think Detroit City coming up from the lower divisions. Monterey is a new side, and they've gone out and gathered some players. So look forward to seeing how they can survive in this tough league. And then Birmingham Legion, Tampa Bay Rowdies. What an opening game for the Rowdies away at Birmingham Legion, who last season I thought were a really good side.
Yeah, you can follow that one on ESPN2. And games are underway already on the opening weekend of the USL Championship. And let's not forget the USL League One as well. And we've got one full time.
Yeah, Loudoun winning 1-0 over Indy 11. There's a surprise, because Loudoun struggled last season. They really didn't do that well, but to get off to win against the Indy 11 side, who I thought might step up a little bit better this season there. That's a good start for Loudoun. Charleston Battery, they've got a new coach. They'll be looking to keep that 1-0 lead over an FC Tulsa side with Michael Insien as coach, who you wonder what you're going to get from them at times.
Orange County surprise winners start their defence, and just before 20 minutes in the first half, they're 0-0 with Colorado Springs Switchbacks. And Charleston Battery, by the way, are twinned with Hibernian FC in Scotland, and I'm being made aware that the Hibs fans are watching that one as well. And as for the upcoming schedule, you can see here Phoenix Rising against Monterey Bay FC, 9:30 Eastern. At 10 o'clock Eastern, one of the key games to watch will be San Diego Loyal against LA Galaxy. Too interesting to see how Galaxy's second string side get on in that one. Any other of those fixtures stand out to you, Gary?
To virtually everyone, because it's first game of the season. I mean, New Mexico United, just wondering how good they're going to be this time around. San Diego, I thought they were going to do better last season. They're stacked with good players. We mentioned Birmingham, Tampa. Sac Republic have brought a whole bunch of players in. El Paso, they were the champions of their division last season, so curious to see how they play. Phoenix Rising always got to be one of the favorites, because they are a fantastic outfit.
Plenty of games coming up then on ESPN and ESPN2. Second half coming up shortly. It's 0-0 between Lou City and Atlanta United 2.
It all starts with a smile. To show you care, offer a sign of love, welcome someone home. Even when we don't see each other, or share a room, even without words, smiles bring us together. Let's keep yours healthy. Mortensen Family Dental. Schedule online at mortensondental.com.
At Kroger, you can get personalized coupons on top of weekly sales for prices that are lower than low on food that's fresher than fresh. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Kroger Delivery is always fresh because we check our produce at every stop on its journey to you. We're fresh every day, so shop any way. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Imagine yourself in a new Toyota.
Wow. Perfect. I think red is more me. Giddy up.
Get 2.49 APR financing on the new aggressively styled 2022 Highlander or the electrified Highlander Hybrid that'll take you 580 miles on a tank of gas.
Ready, set, go get your Toyota today.
Toyota, let's go places.
When fire and water threaten your home, hand the cleanup over to the team that stays with you every step of the way in your journey back. 1-800-SERVPRO and ServPro.com. Like it never even happened.
Welcome back to the Lynn Family Stadium. 0-0 between Lou City and Atlanta United 2. Second half getting underway in a few minutes' time. Ben Jacobs and the former Manchester United goalkeeper Gary Bailey with you. Let's take a look at the half-time highs then. And Gary, it was all about both goalkeepers.
Yeah, it was mostly Lou City on the attack. They were making Vicente Reyes work. And you'll see here the goalkeeper comes out, punches it, and just follows through and catches poor Josh Winder there, knocks him down. But brave goalkeeping and brave attacking as well, in fairness to Josh Winder. And then there was more pressure. Corbin Bone here whipping one over. The goalkeeper quite comfortably just seeing that over the crossbar. So I don't think he was too troubled by that one. But a lot of pressure for the young man in goal. And he dealt with everything. Crosses, efforts. And here, brave, just diving in there in front of Jorge Gonzalez, risking a kick to the head. Have a look at it from this angle. Oh, there actually was the boot was up from Jorge Gonzalez as well. Yeah, and here they come again, the men in purple and blue.
One major chance, though, for visitors, which we'll see in a moment, and called into action was Kyle Morton.
There's just the one here. Yeah, just a long ball out to Jackson Conway. Somehow gets behind the defense and thumps it there. It's a powerful strike, which... It's actually a brilliant save from Kyle Morton, because have a look at it from this angle. Watch Kyle's right hand there. Makes the save, gets it onto his face and gets a bloodied nose for his trouble.
Certainly does. And that just kept on bleeding. But at the other end, Lou City continued to cause problems. And that was the best chance of the game, that glancing header, which was, we thought, tipped away. But a corner wasn't given on that occasion. And it's 0-0 at half-time. 12 shots to 3 in favour of Lou City. And the stats are brought to you by River City Flooring. 51 possession to 49. So Atlanta United too have seen plenty of the ball. That's a bit of a surprise.
They have, but mostly in their own half. They've sort of been pinned back. That's where they've had their possession. For Lou City, 12 shots, only 3 on target. As I mentioned, that's the concern for Daniel Cruz. They haven't been effective around the goal. They haven't, I mean, they've worked the goalkeeper, to be fair. You can't say they haven't worked Vicente Reyes, but they haven't taken the chances that came for them. That Del Piccolo header being one of them. But Corbin Bone's been sharp. He's caused a few problems, and I think Daniel Cruz will give it 10-15 minutes, and if they don't get the breakthrough, then he will go to his bench.
Second half then getting underway. 0-0. Lou City in the bluey purple. It's not quite as purple as we were expecting this season, and Atlanta United too. All in white. A few players just wanting the whistle here from our referee Melvin Rivas, because it is freezing out there. It's going to feel like about 16 degrees, we are told. 26 was the starting temperature. And the fans are jumping up and down and keeping warm as well. The best attended home crowd in the USL Championship. They normally average over 10,000. Conditions probably meaning there's a few less in this evening. We'll give you the attendance as soon as we get it. And no changes at the break for either side. So Lou City with Morton, Sharpie, Gibson, Winder, Dia, Bone, Gonzalez, Del Piccolo, Perez, Harris and Ownby. And we'll give you the Atlanta United 2 team in a moment when we get a break in play, but that's the first cross coming in from the left-hand side, and Morton takes it comfortably out to Gonzalez.
Well, there wasn't much thinking there from David Mejia. He just shoved the opposition player in the back and down he went. Mind you, talking about here, he scored 2 goals in the last match they played, the friendly match against Greenville Triumph at home, winning 4-2. So the number 11 there in the white shirt must feel like he's in good goal scoring form at the moment. I wonder if he'll get an opportunity to show that here in the second half.
New signing Firmino got a goal in that game as well. Haven't seen too much of him either. It's Reyes, McFadden, Brick, Cobb, Ambrose, Morales, Firmino and Metz, Mejia, Conway and Centeno in a 4-3-3 for Atlanta United 2.
Just a goal kick there. Jorge Gonzalez trying to get something down that left-hand side, trying to get the crowd going. We're all wrapped up nice and warm.
That is how you stay warm, with a mask, maybe a face mask, and then a scarf.
Well, it's 16 degrees or a net temperature with wind chill of 16. Wow. Those are real fans turning out on a night like this.
Hardcore indeed. 0-0, and they'll be hoping for something to cheer about in the second half. 12 shots in the first half for Lou City. Dia, who already is in a more advanced position. That's neatly spread through as well. Gonzalez wasn't sure whether to cross or shoot. Didn't actually have too many options in the box. Bone was trying to make himself available. Gonzalez just hesitated, which is probably why you see the wry smile, and then it deflects away for a corner.
I'm just wondering, when he gets this Gonzalez, it's a lovely little ball in there. And have a shot. You're at an angle where you can force the keeper into a save. And in the end, he lets that one go. And Wilson Harris, I think it was, with a through ball. Very clever pass. Opportunity lost yet again for Lou City.
Ambrose with good defending to block that away. It's Bone to deliver into the near post, and once again didn't get enough purchase on it to cause any real meaningful problems. And away Atlanta United to come down this right-hand side. Mejia coming forwards with purpose, but then the short and what should have been routine pass was not executed well enough, and that just slows things down a little bit. Atlanta United too, hoping to improve on a 12th place finish in the Eastern Conference in 2021. They're going to have to find some goals though. Aidan McFadden playing at the back did get 8 of them, but there's certainly going to be an expectation on Mejia, Conway, Centeno, Firmino, and maybe even Mertz to weigh in with a few more to take the pressure off McFadden.
Yeah, they were second bottom of their group, but to be fair, Atlanta 2 were only 3 points behind 5th spot. So of all the 2 teams, this is probably one of the best.
Wilson to Del Piccolo, and now forced down the right-hand side where Ombi tried to find Gonzalez. Not quite strong enough. Del Piccolo picks it up. Ombi scoops it back into the box. This young Atlanta United 2 defence, minus Ambrose, who's 28, but Cobb's only 16, Brick's only 17, so there's a fair amount of expectation on young shoulders and the centre-backs. And maybe the disappointment, Gary, for Danny Cruz is those 2 centre-backs haven't really been tested with aerial balls or forced backwards with runs towards their feet. We'll come back to that, though, in a moment as Ombi comes forwards. There was bags of space on the left-hand side, both Bone in particular, and down that flank, other names as well, calling for it, Gonzalez too, and the outlet wasn't utilised, unfortunately, from the home side's perspective.
Yep, look, perhaps it's the first game of the season, but they just don't look sharp with that final ball, Lou City, as yet, and obviously missing Cam Lancaster, who tends to make things happen out of nothing. But they haven't been able to really give Wilson Harris a lot to work with. But there's still a chance to do that.
Winder fires one forwards. This time it's a poor decision from the visiting goalkeeper to come off his line. He should be able to get back though. Ombi fires one in. Again, it's a little bit too short and under hit. First poor decision though from Vicente Reyes. Never looked likely to get to that ball. Bone picks it up. Gonzalez tries one from distance, and that's well taken by Reyes. Not hit the hardest, but it did bounce and bobble slightly in front of the 18-year-old Chilean. And again, he shows a safe pair of hands.
Yeah, the manager must be pleased with him. I think the manager's also, Jack Collison, a little bit concerned about some of the tackles going in, complaining to the ref. But talking of Vicente Reyes, you're right, he did come out of his box and not get to the ball, but it took a while. I think it was for Brian Ombi to get the cross in, and by that stage, the keeper was back in the safety of his nets.
Just coming back to those 2 young centre-backs, Cobb and Brick, as a goalkeeper, what would you be doing or saying if you were playing as an experienced voice? I know in the case of Reyes, he's only 18, but if it was you in there between the sticks, would you be vocal and talking to them throughout the game and trying to relax them, or do you just let them get on with it?
I think you always talk, no matter whether it's a young centre-back or old one. You might talk a little bit more if it's a younger one, just to help him through. But you know, these days, I mean, look, the man on the ball there, Josh Winder, 16 years of age. I mean, he's 6 foot something, 6'3", He's a huge player. He's comfortable on the ball. So their age doesn't always mean that they're kids. They're almost like adults before their time. They have to be to survive in the harsh physical world of soccer.
6 minutes gone then in the second half. Lou City 0, Atlanta United 2-0. First goal may prompt floodgates to open, but at the moment it's tight and cagey. Nothing like that Manchester United Spurs game.
I'm pleased you mentioned that. It's been a good day for us United fans and for Ronaldo fans at last.
Thought because we've got Liverpool producers that I throw it in the second half to make sure that I get to commentate on the full 90.
Well, there were 5 goals in that match against Spurs, a 3-2 win. I think the fans could do with 5 goals here today because lots of effort, lots of enterprise, lots of high press and closing down from the Lou City side. But Danny Cruz will be still looking for that breakthrough. He needs to get a goal. He needs to get his team ahead. A draw at home in the opening match against Atlanta 2 would not be a good start to the season for Lou City, who fancy themselves to finish top of the table.
Collison has actually played against Ronaldo, the Atlanta United 2 boss. Only 33. Unfortunately, his career was ended by a knee injury. And he was appointed in June officially after 2 years with the under-17 side here. Fans are not bobbling up and down as much. I'm imagining they're frozen to the seats at this point.
You can't blame them, to be honest. That's why it needs a goal. And it probably something that Danny Cruz might have mentioned. He might have said, hey, guys, we've got fans who've turned up on a flippin' freezing cold night. You've got to give them something to get excited about. And that'll be on the minds of the players. As Josh Winder goes down yet again in this match. He's taken a few knocks, the young man.
Certainly has. Back up on his feet, though, without any injury. And Gonzalez looking in a hurry to work the ball forwards here for Lou City. Just chips it into a bit of space, though, instead. And it's picked up by Wes Sharpie, the 29-year-old who used to play for Toronto too. Down that right-hand side, but it's too strong. Here, will try and run it over the halfway line, but instead just pushes it out of play. And remember, you're watching us, but if you can't ever watch a match, you can also turn on the radio. Sirius XM FC 157 is North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access Tuesday nights at 7 Eastern. And you can hear live matches from the USL, the MLS, the English Premier League and more, all on Sirius. As Ownby's cross into Gonzalez. And he did well there because he had to adapt and shift the body to get any kind of power or direction, but just not enough to get a header on target, and it stays at 0-0.
Yeah, it's not a bad chance again. I'm just wondering if this falls to a Cam Lancaster. Does he at least make the goalkeeper work? Decent ball in from Ownby. Nice height, curling, headed well wide, not testing the keeper at all. Again, it's a lack of quality in those final moments for Lou City.
Bone to Ownby, heavy first touch, and that affected the cross. Slightly rash in the end, and another chance wasted. And every time we've seen Lou City get to the byline, they've just not had the composure, if that's the right word, to pick out a final ball.
Yep, they certainly haven't. Again, it is the first sort of match of the season, and everyone's sort of finding their way, but you don't get time to settle in here. If you want to win the league title, which is what Danny Cruz does want to do, you've got to start beating the likes of the Birmingham Legions and Pittsburgh Riverhounds and Tampa Bay Rowdies in the Eastern Division, and these are all very good sides, so you want to get off to a flying start, and it's frustrating for the Lou City fans. It's just not quite happening for them yet.
10 minutes gone in the second half, the opening weekend of the USL Championship 2022. Great to have your company. Ben Jacobs and the former Manchester United goalkeeper Gary Bailey, and Lou City starting now to have a little bit more possession. And here's Ownby on the right-hand side. Gonzalez is in space. A short ball to him might have been a decent option, but instead he delays trying to get the cross and then ran out of options.
Lots of pressure again from those Lou City players, but Atlanta are trying to play their way out of it. Give them credit.
Thought that was handball by Conway. Play continues though. Deer on the halfway line. Careless free kick given away there by Wilson Harris, and I think he's going to be booked here.
Yeah, I think we have to. It was clumsy. It was It was intentional. He knows it as well. I don't know why he had to do that, really. I mean, it's on the halfway line. It's not like if you're going to keep those professional fouls, keep them to the, for the edge of the box. But yeah, he's grabbed him. You can't. You can give someone a bit of a shove and a bit of a bump, but to grab them like that, you're always going to get on the wrong side of the referee.
Aidan McFadden, the man who was fouled, trying to surge forwards, and the first booking of the game goes to Wilson Harris, effectively the replacement for the injured Cameron Lancaster.
And you just wonder how long that injury is going to keep Cam Lancaster out, because as one of the top strikers, if not the top striker in the USL, they can't do without him for too long. And already this match has proven how they can miss him.
Ownby fires one up towards Wilson, who's looking to make amends for that yellow card. Couldn't quite bring down a ball that was hit with venom. As we approach the 1 hour mark, it remains 0-0. It's a tight game. Lou City, though, just looking to break down a stubborn visiting team, and then maybe after they break the deadlock, or if, of course, more goals will follow. But Jack Collison, the happier of the two managers through the opening hour or so. McFadden on the ball, under pressure from Gonzalez, and he'll pass the ball out of play. That's a good high press by the home side. Dia took the throw in quickly. Bone knocks it forwards cleverly into space. Cross first time, looking for Wilson. He set himself there. That's more good defending to at least half clear. Gonzalez brings it down, and then Ownby tries a shot, and that one's blocked too.
You fancy there has to be a little break for Lou City. They're putting enough pressure on, having enough efforts, and it's getting blocked. But one of them surely has to sneak through eventually. Either that, or I wouldn't be surprised if now is the time for Musha Galusa to come on.
Winder in uncharted territory, and we do understand that Musha Galusa is warming up. Winder had come all the way forwards and then couldn't find an outlet, thought about a shot, decided against it, fell to the ground, and by keeping his body over the ball, he is going to be penalised. And we're going to have a couple of substitutions here. Ownby is going to go off, and Ray Serrano is going to come on. These substitutions are brought to you by MHS Global. And Musha Galusa is the other player to enter the fray. So 2 substitutions brought to you by MHS Global for Lou City, above and beyond. Del Piccolo is the other player to depart.
Well, it doesn't surprise me. I thought it was going to happen around about this time, that he can bring fresh legs on. And they're 2 new players, 2 new signings. So looking for, I'm sure the fans are all excited to see what can they do, especially let me say that properly, Musha Galusa. He's such an exciting player with such wonderful pace.
It's a tongue twister, isn't it? Musha Galusa is on, nearly gets his first touch there, but McFadden will pick it up instead and whip a dangerous ball, but just slightly overhit to the back post. That had plenty of swing on it, but just gets caught in the breeze, and it's harmlessly out for a goal kick. Enoch Musha Galusa, the DR Congo forward. Looked also when Ownby came off like he might have been struggling a little bit. There was definitely a slight limp on that right leg. So we'll find out.
He is in his 30s now, I guess, so the wear and tear does take his toll. Although I thought he did well, Ownby. I thought he threatened and created opportunities and didn't get the final ball that he wanted. But it needs fresh legs, and I think with Musha Galusa, they got that pace that they need up front. They haven't got a real quick player, Lou City.
Sure, we'll find out at full time if it was a forced or tactical change. Serrano is involved for the first time. Wins his side a throw-in. Let's take a look at Enoch Musha Galusa, DR Congo forward, still a teenager. And it looks like Lou City will be joined in the substitution game by Atlanta United 2 as well, as Jonathan Villal is preparing to come on. Musha Galusa on the ball now. Centeno would be the obvious player to go off. Mushagalusa finds Serrano. Lovely improvisation there by the substitute, almost scooping it into the path of Gonzalez. And already an instant impact, Gary, from the two Lou City players that have entered the fray. As another substitution is made, we'll get Gary's thoughts in just a moment, but it is Centeno who departs, and Jonathan Villal comes on in his place. So a first substitution for Atlanta United 2, brought to you by MHS Global.
Yeah, Jonathan Villal, just 16 years of age, another young talent that Atlanta United are bringing through their system. But you're right, we just saw Ray Serrano with that lovely little chip over the top to Jorge Gonzalez. So it's something different from Serrano and Mushagalusa.
Well, there he goes again. The black coat is off.
Yeah, he's warming up.
I reckon what he did was half-time. He goes into a concourse, stands by a radiator, rips the coat off, and shows off that magnificent vest that only somebody like him can pull off comparative to someone of my slender frame, where that entire vest would be down by my knees.
Well, I don't think you have the coverings, shall we say, to keep you warm in the cold that he has. So I wouldn't recommend you go and do what he does. Again, fantastic fans to be out in this freezing weather supporting their team.
Serrano on the ball at the moment, neatly spread out to the right-hand side. I tell you what I would do is dye the hair purple. Gonzalez, neat ball to him, in space for the first time, slightly tight angle, didn't do enough with the ball in, a little bit caught, I think, to begin with, between a cross and a shot. Bone nearly finds Dia. Jonathan Villal was the player to just get that away for Atlanta United 2, and then Winder is furious, but that will be the visitors' ball.
Yeah, I don't think Winder got the ball, to be honest. I think he got the player, and he probably gets himself a booking for mouthing off at the assistant ref. But when you actually see it, I think he catches the player first and then the ball, and that's why the assistant ref raises his flag. Have a look at it here. Well, he does actually get a toe on the ball, doesn't he? The question mark is how much of the player does he get? Let's have a look. No, he gets a toe on the ball. I think he's got a point, actually.
Seems like a fair challenge.
Yeah, it does.
It's not come in from behind.
Yeah.
But it is a yellow card.
He's probably got the yellow more for the arguing than the actual foul.
Mateo Brick, the 17-year-old, to deliver. And he might get lucky here and win his side a corner from an underhit delivery, and he does. So another Wi-Fi corner.
Well, could the highly unlikely happen here in Atlanta 2 get a result, and as Loudoun United won, they're a 2-side and they won tonight, beating Indy 11.
Atlanta have beaten them before.
Yeah.
In June last year.
They did, correct, they did.
David Mia with the corner kick from this near right-hand side. It's a decent delivery, a header off the post as well. It must be tapped in, and it is going to be a goal to Atlanta United 2, but a flag has gone up. It's going to be called off against Aidan McFadden with the tap in. The header off the post, but it won't count.
Wow, we were just talking about the possibility of a surprise. Well, if Lou City needed a wake-up call, that was it. Didn't see where the fact the header was made, it comes back off the post. I don't think Aidan McFadden can be offside coming back off the post. So let's have a look. Well, he was in an offside position, but when the header was made, he was offside. Yeah. Oof, it's very close when the header was made. Very close.
So close for Atlanta United 2. Efrain Morales was the player with the original header off the post, and that would have counted. But Aidan McFadden following up had moved into an offside position as the header came in. And as a result, his tap-in doesn't count.
You've got to be fair. The best two chances have actually fallen to the visitors. Lots of huffing and puffing from Lou City. But that fantastic save in the first half from Kyle Morton and now the one off the post. Those are the best two chances in my book.
Midway through the second half, Lou City 0, Atlanta United 2-0. Lou City again with lots of possession down the channels, but no final ball. Atlanta United 2 with chances few and far between, but when they do create them, they are good chances. As Morales battling in midfield, it's given away. Mushagalusa now takes a couple of touches. He's got his eyes on goal, just couldn't find the space to get the shot away, and then was looking for purple-shirted options to his right-hand side, but that's good hustle to win the ball back. Mushagalusa wants more, thought about a curling shot. Bone picks it up on the edge of the area slightly fortuitously. He'll spread it to Serrano on the right-hand side. That's neat feet. It's cut back into a dangerous area. Mushagalusa can't get there. Dia tries to curl one in. Oh, and his own player got in its way. I wonder whether that was heading on target.
Wow, what excitement that was. There was chance after chance after chance there for Lou City. Mushagalusa already showing his value, more direct than we've seen so far. Great run down the right-hand side and pull back here, but Mushagalusa gets it there. He fought earlier to get it back, and then Dia comes along, and you're right, it actually does hit Wilson Harris, and I think it was going in. Have a look at it from behind when he hits it. It looks like it's just bending in, and then it hits Wilson Harris and goes wide. Can you believe that?
Harris just couldn't get out the way, and it's end-to-end all of a sudden. That's an important sliding challenge by Perez. Gonzalez was calling for it in central midfield. No need, though, for him to receive the ball because Brick will foul Serrano. He's saying, that's my first. He's going to head into the book, though. Can he have any complaints?
If it is his first, yeah, he probably could. Let me have a look at it again. I didn't think it was a bad one, and I've seen throughout this match others be let go similar. Let's have a look. Yeah, look, it's right in front of the referee as well. It's one of those borderline ones where if it's given, I don't think you can complain too much. He's complaining, Jack Collison. He's not happy. Because I think he's seen others similar that the referee let go, but sometimes referees let it go for a while and eventually they blow it up.
Brick in the book. Sharpie works it up towards Gonzalez. Atlanta United 2 are considering another change. Heading into the final 20 minutes plus added time. Bone can't get his foot on the ball on that occasion. Here gives it away. There's 4 purple shirts forwards here. Mushagalusa lays it off. It's a shot that comes in from Wilson! And he scores on the opener for the 2022 USL season. It creeps into the far right-hand corner. All about the selflessness of Mushagalusa to lay it off deftly. Wilson hit it first time. Reyes may be a little bit disappointed. He got a wrist to it, but couldn't stop the ball from finding the far right-hand corner. And it's Lou City 1, Atlanta United 2-0.
That's a brilliant strike. Beautifully laid off by Mushagalusa, but Wilson Harris saying, hey, one day Cam Lancaster's going to retire and I'm going to be the man to take over, and why not with a wonderful shot like this? Yet question marks against Reyes. Has had a fantastic game, brilliant game, and that one I think he will say I could have done better and I could have pushed it around the post. But let's focus on Wilson Harris. Hello, he's arrived. He's part of the Lou City fame now. He's got his name on the score sheet.
And that goal is presented by Kentucky Lottery, fueling imagination, funding education, the Kentucky Lottery. And with that, Atlanta United 2 are going to make a couple of substitutions. And these, as ever, are brought to you by MHS Global. Brendan Lamb is one of the players coming on. And Nicholas Firmino will depart. And Luke Brennan has also been introduced. Jackson Conway has gone off. So now we see whether those floodgates will open or whether Atlanta United 2 can force their way back into the game. But just a key spell with the disallowed goal at one end following a header against the post. And now Lou City take the lead. And that probably was an example, Gary, of what I earlier called chocolate wrists.
Yes, it was. I mean, I hate to pick on Vicente Reyes because he's had such a fantastic game, but if you were to be critical of him, yes, he had to do better there. He had to make that save, and I'm sure he knows it. And it's taken the edge off what has been, I think, a brilliant goalkeeping performance. But, you know, it's a crucial one, a crucial moment, and it could be the deciding moment in this game.
Bone down the right-hand side. Wilson needs to watch the offside line. The ball was fractionally too short to find him. Serrano picks it up. Gonzalez wanted it on the edge of the area. He can now set himself. Gonzalez, the ball bobbled up and it stopped him taking a shot. He would have liked to hit that a little bit earlier. Could have maybe even taken a strike first time, but there's suddenly spaces at the back as Atlanta United 2 start to maybe tire a little bit with 18 minutes plus added time remaining.
Yeah, it's, as we said in the first half, for these younger players to stand up to the might of Lou City for 90 minutes is not easy. They've done a great job of it, but there's no question that there's been, you know, a load more shots and efforts on goal from the host Lou City than Atlanta 2 have made. And eventually something's going to go in somehow. It might be a deflection, it might be an error, as has been the case here perhaps. But I think also look at the decent shot coming in from Wilson Harris. Give him credit for taking it. And you mentioned it, Musha Galusa with a lovely layoff to Wilson Harris, just taking the weight off the ball.
He looks a very unselfish player, doesn't he, Musha Galusa, from what we've seen?
Very much so. But from the moment he came on, he's brought excitement into this team and he's brought something a little bit extra. I think he could be a regular in this Lou City side this season.
Speaking of excitement, the drum rolls are out. And this crowd are now animated and hoping for more. That, though, will be Atlanta United 2 ball. And Wilson Harris has to be a little bit careful here because, remember, he has been booked. And my word, we're head-banging now. What a difference a goal makes.
Well, I think he's going to be more tired than most of the players after this match.
So many characters around this football club, including in the fan base. And they will get many attendances of well over 10,000 this season. The best supported club, numerically speaking, in the USL Championship. And hoping to get off to a winning start as they look to avenge a heartbreaking loss to Tampa Bay Rowdies. 3-2 in the USL Eastern Conference Finals. Going out in successive seasons at that stage. As Musha Galusa will pick up the ball here. An error by Brick, but then he couldn't control it. And in fairness to the Atlanta United 2 defence, and Aidan McFadden in particular, the visiting number 2 was able to get back and make the clearance. It looks to me, Gary, like Atlanta United 2 and Jack Collison have realised the threat of Musha Galusa and they're putting 2 on him now. We'll come back to that in a moment because Gonzalez nearly worked it in a tight space to Wilson. Neat touch by Serrano. Wilson nearly again fed Gonzalez. But Musha Galusa, Gary, has made an impact. And Collison maybe making sure he gets a bit less space.
Yeah, he threatens you. He's got pace. He's got you know, ability to create something from nothing. And he has a shot. He doesn't sort of have too many touches, so he is a threat. And that's why I think there's an exciting signing for Lou City.
Don't forget, you can head to Twitter to vote on tonight's Lynn Family Sports Vision and Trading Man of the Match. The poll will be open for the next 10 minutes. Vote now at twitter.com/Lou City. Be asking you, Gary, who your man of the match is as well, and see if you're in sync with the Twitter community.
Well, if you'd asked me 5 minutes ago, it would have been Vicente Reyes, but now that the goal's gone in and he's partly at fault there, you start looking at Lou City and saying, well, should it go to the winning side? to pick one player out of this team who's shone, well, let's wait. There's still 15 minutes to go.
Bone has had a good game as well, and he lays it off on that right-hand side. Only Mushagalusa is in the centre. Gonzalez might try and go alone here, and that was an excellent snapshot, which just goes wide of the right-hand post.
Yeah, Wilson Harris again causing problems there, and just felt he should have hit the target and made the goalkeeper work. As Coach Jack Collison just saying to his players, you've got to push up, and I guess his point is you're 1-0 down. You know, you have to get back in the game. You can't stay in defence and hold on to a 1-0 loss. You hold on to a 0-0 draw perhaps, but now they're down. They've got to stretch out and have a bit of a go and see if they can get that equaliser.
Should point out that Collison has got minimal options on the bench. The visiting side only came with 6 substitutes, including a goalkeeper. Ayani Fortune is an option. As we look again at Harris's chance, shrugged off a couple of defenders quite well there.
Yeah, he did that part very well and doesn't hit target. You got Mushagalusa following up, so if you hit it hard at the goalkeeper and he doesn't hold it, you know, Mushagalusa can follow up and tap it into the back of the net, or you could even square it to him. But just to shoot wide, it's a waste of an opportunity. But he does have the only goal of the match, so can't be too critical.
Heading into the final 10 minutes plus added time. Luke Brennan over on that right-hand side, one of 2 subs, and Jonathan Vijal as well was on the ball a moment ago, but Lou City come away with it once more. Serrano, well-weighted ball to Wilson. Mushagalusa making his way into the centre as well, needs to make sure he stays on side, although the ball is not going to reach him on this occasion. Robbie Mertz is in the way. Mertz hasn't been able to offer too much from an attacking perspective. He did get 5 assists last season. Sharpie in the corner. No foul given here, and Atlanta United 2 might be able to craft an opportunity. Mia tried to work the ball towards the back post where Vijal was. And then Kyle Morton taking a slightly audacious first touch, but coolly getting the ball away. And here's Mushagalusa. Shrugs off McFadden. Nice worked ball inside to Wilson again. And on this occasion, the flag goes up. And Wilson's shot wouldn't have counted, but credit nonetheless to Reyes for keeping his leg shut and making the block.
Yeah, and credit also to Mushagalusa for making that all happen. He's running at the defence. He's strong and powerful, just shrugged off McFadden. He's got his head up. He puts a lovely ball in there for Wilson Harris, who had drifted into an offside position. But it's up to Harris to keep himself in an onside position. But Mushagalusa, I think Danny Cruz will be super delighted with the impact this young man has had on this side. 22 years of age, coming in and impacting this team. He really has made a big difference in the last 10-15 minutes.
It's a strange one, isn't it? Because if you're judging the man of the match based on the players when they were on the field, you'd be pushing Mushagalusa in there as a candidate. But because he's played so few minutes, it's also hard to give it to him.
Yeah, I guess Wilson Harris has got the goal that's made the breakthrough. So ultimately, that's generally where the credit and the glory goes. But there's still 10 minutes left in this match, and there's all sorts of swings and roundabouts that could happen. 2 managers having a word there. I don't know if it was a pleasant word or an unpleasant one.
Well, we've seen all night Jack Collison's been unhappy with a couple of the challenges that have come in.
And maybe Danny Cruz going back to him and saying, well, now it's our players getting kicked, so let's have a look and see how exactly went down here.
Yeah, this is Sharpie.
Can't quite see how he got injured there. Anyway, play goes on.
Thought that he just lost his balance. Looping ball in from Atlanta United to far too close to Morton, who hasn't really had anything to do in the second half.
Not in the second half, no, but still that fantastic save in the first half was absolutely vital. But yeah, for a goalkeeper as good as him and as strong in the air, putting it anywhere near him was actually just giving the ball away. So again, not the best of set pieces from Atlanta too.
Just under 10 minutes remaining. Don't forget to keep voting on your man of the match via Twitter. We've got about 5 minutes of that poll remaining as Gonzalez is dispossessed. Vijal, too strong down the right-hand side. Still asks a question, though, of Winder. who goes back to Morton. Not the most comfortable of clearances, but he did at least get some distance on the ball. Sean Tosh is going to come on. And Wes Sharpie will depart. Bit of a surprise, Gary, that Tosh didn't start the game.
Well, given that he played every single game of last season, yeah, it is a bit of a surprise. I don't know if he got a little bit of a knock, and maybe the coach didn't feel he wanted to risk him. But either way, he does get onto the pitch.
Looks like that one might be an enforced substitution because of the knock that we saw to Sharpie just a moment ago, who seemingly landed awkwardly. So inside the final 10 minutes, and this portion of the game is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places.
It's not a bad choice bringing Sean Tosh on. Last season he led the team in clearances, interceptions and blocks, which is pretty much what you want for the last 10 minutes, so he's the perfect candidate.
Certainly is, to shore things up. Atlanta United too have to be a bit more enterprising and go for broke, even if it means losing the game by more than one goal. Goals, though, have been a problem for Atlanta United too, albeit with these two sides, there's always a lot of change season on season, so you have to be wary of comparing everything compared to 2021, but they did only manage 45 goals. Vijal is trying to change that now on the ball at the moment, just on the edge of the area. Bluntly trying to force his way towards goal. It falls to McFadden, who takes a couple of touches, but there's no way through. McFadden on that left foot, that's whipped into a dangerous area, but it's well headed clear. Cobb on the ball, the 16-year-old. Back to Reyes. No real pressure at the moment except from Wilson, as Lou City perhaps start to sit back a little bit. That was a nice idea by Vijal, but too strong for McFadden, who's not particularly happy. Ball hasn't actually gone out of play, which is probably a good thing for Lou City because it eats up a few more seconds. Everyone from Atlanta United too had kind of ran back. Morales, who had that header against the post. And then the disallowed goal from McFadden, and shortly afterwards Wilson scored, and now there's space here. Gonzalez lays it off to Mushigalusa. Jack Collison's got his arm up for offside. Mushigalusa can't finish it. There was no flag that went up though. Collison is fuming. Mushigalusa should have scored. Again, unselfish play, this time from Gonzalez, and Mushigalusa will feel he should have had the composure to find the bottom right-hand corner on his debut, but instead it stays at 1-0.
Well, I think this is a save from the goalkeeper. I think the ball was going in that bottom corner, and the keeper gets a foot on it. I think, and it should be a corner that's been given. A lovely little bit of counter play, but again, Mushigalusa so sharp, gets into the box. Have a look here, and the goalkeeper, yeah, the goal that's going in the bottom corner. That was bang on target. Once again, Reyes making a crucial save.
Great spot, Gary. The faintest of touches, and it was a really good save. And Gonzalez is trying to get on the ball just to the edge of the 6-yard area, but it didn't ricochet in his path. Mushigalusa has had a really good cameo here, definitely making a case to start the next game. March the 19th, Lou City are at home to Miami FC. March the 23rd, away at New York Red Bulls 2. Atlanta United 2 play before that on March the 16th at home to New York Red Bulls 2. And then they've got a tough game at home to Tampa Bay Rowdies. It's a really difficult start, isn't it, for Atlanta United 2, having to play Tampa and Lou City in 2 of your first 3 games.
Yeah, and they've got Charleston Battery after that, which won't be easy. But certainly for Lou City, next match, Miami FC at home, that's going to be a real tester for them, because it's a good Miami FC team anyway, and they've added was it Kyle Morton up front. Brilliant striker. I mean, sorry, Kyle Murphy up front. Brilliant striker. So with all of that, Miami FC is going to be a very difficult team this season.
Wilson's goal. Wilson Harris's goal, I should say, is the difference between the sides. 22-year-old, who was the USL Championship Young Player of the Year in 2020. Played a few times in 2021 for Sporting Kansas. Another substitution here, brought to you by MHS Global. Grant Howard on, Matteo Brick off.
Yeah, they may as well go for it. I mean, only a few minutes left, and as you said, whether you lose 1-0 or 2-0, either way you've lost, so you may as well at least try and attack.
We'll bring in the man of the match in just a moment, but that, of course, could change if Atlanta United 2 can get back in this, and that's a dangerous ball into the box, and the Lou City defence fell asleep momentarily. Let's take a look at the man of the match, though, and it is the goal scorer at the moment, the winning goal scorer, Wilson Harris.
Yeah, as you would expect. I mean, that's what the game's all about, is winning, and he's scored the only goal of the match. And unfortunately for Vicente Reyes, when people see that, they'll go, oh, goalkeeping error, and for me it was. But if you look at his performance over the match, the Atlanta 2 goalkeeper, he's been absolutely brilliant, and such a pity that he'll be remembered for that one error, because he's made 4 or 5 other top-class saves.
Gonzalez, who's worked hard and been heavily involved in the second half. Grant Howard will make the clearance. Howard, who is a very versatile defender, part of the Atlanta United Academy. Mushagalusa, though, pickpockets him and works his way into the area. Neat feet by Mushagalusa, and then just ran it ahead of himself, and too many white shirts in the way.
But at least he's positive and has a go. He gets into that box.
Gonzalez, dangerous area, and again it's nearly forced in. So close once more for Lou City. It is Wilson Harris once more, the man of the match, nearly doubling his tally.
It comes very close, doesn't it? But good pressure here. We talked about that pressure in the first half. They didn't get much from it. Now they're getting pressure, and maybe some good defending there as well, just to put Wilson Harris off. But some tired Atlanta United 2 defending, and that high pressure that they've been applying all the match that really served them well there. Great chance for Wilson Harris. In the end, he couldn't take it.
Mikey Ambrose guilty of giving the ball away. Masoso is going to come on for one final change for Lou City, and we will bring you details of that next time the ball goes out of play. 1 minute remaining plus stoppage time.
Interesting that Atlanta 2 have scored in the 89th minute or later 5 times last season, so this isn't all done and dusted.
And the space here down the left-hand side. No foul has been given. Instead, we will go to the substitution. That might well be a corner for the visitors. This substitute is brought to you by MHS Global, above and beyond. Napo Masoso will replace Jorge Gonzalez, who's worked really hard, Gary.
He has. He really has. It doesn't threaten the goal enough for me. He's always looking to pass it and try and find somebody else, whereas Mushagalusa puts his head down and goes. So I think Jorge Gonzalez might lose a starting spot to Mushagalusa, but he's a good team player. He's always working to get the others into position, which does have its value. It's just this game is all about goals and efforts on target, and that's what Mushagalusa seems to be able to do.
Heading into stoppage time, then there'll be 3 minutes, and it's presented by the Louisville Muhammad Ali International Airport. So Soso comes on. The Lesotho international. Soso from Lesotho. It's got a nice ring to it.
It's a little country landlocked by South Africa. Little mountain kingdom, Lesotho, and that's where he's from. And I think he's got 1 cap for the country as well.
Yeah, he has been capped. Task, though, here is just to use the fresh legs and wind down the clock. Don't think we're going to see Lou City be too expansive in the final couple of minutes or so. Don't forget, we've got the post-game show coming up, so stay with us. But Atlanta United too are going to have to do something, and quickly. They've made this a really competitive encounter.
They have, and that's what Danny Cruz said it would be. He said they'll always give us a tough game, and you know, we've won a couple, we've drawn one and lost one last year, so it hasn't been one-way traffic. But overall, they've created way more chances, Lou City.
And Soso spreads it out to that right-hand side, and Lou City are not taking the ball into the corner. Maybe they would have been better just to wind down the clock, but the fans are in good spirits. They think that the game is won, as Lou City look to try and start their 2022 campaign with maximum points.
Yeah, not the most convincing perhaps, but there's no Cam Lancaster, and they've had to shuffle around a little bit. They've got new players that need to settle in, like Perez we just see on the screen there. They had to rely on Kyle Morton first half to make an absolutely crucial save, and they've had a goal disallowed, so this has been a lot closer than they would have liked, Lou City. But at the end of the day, you just want to get the points in the bag, get the season off to a winning start, and take it from there.
Serrano, the substitute, is just hurt. That's why we've got a break in play, so that will add another minute or so to the stoppage time, holding the thigh area and limping off by the looks of things for a little bit of treatment. Perez with the shot just a moment ago, out for the goal kick. As I said in commentary, maybe could have just taken it into the corner, because if you score, you get the plaudits, but if you fire it out of play, you hand the ball back to Atlanta United 2 with a good minute remaining, and they're going route one with space on the left-hand side. Can they put a sting in the tail here? Jonathan Vijal, not afraid to shoot, but on this occasion crosses with the left foot. And Serrano, who is back on, not moving that freely though, but does enough to put the ball out of play. The 3 minutes is up, but that injury to Serrano probably means we'll go to 94.
This could be the last chance for Atlanta too. Jack Collis in the background still chatting and organising. And the big goalkeeper's up, Vicente Reyes. If he wants to make up for that goal that slipped between his hands, this is the moment.
Reyes looking to redeem himself. Up he comes. It's towards him as well. He gets his head to it. It nearly falls to Vijal at the back post. Now he has to run back. He'll get to the ball first here as well to try and continue the attack. And he's still happy to play as a winger, but now he's going to have to trot back between the sticks, and time is ticking away. 1 minute of stoppage time on top of stoppage time. The referee, Melvin Rivas, looks at his watch, but we still play. Masoso gets to the ball first ahead of David Mejia. And that should just about do us. Mushagalusa
does well,
hanging onto the ball.
Yeah, just to hold up play for a moment there.
Up towards Wilson Harris. Close to 95 minutes on the clock. That Serrano injury eating up additional time. And there is the full-time whistle. Lou City hang on. Wilson Harris scores on his debut. Mushagalusa impressed from the bench, and Morton kept a clean sheet. And Lou City begin their 2022 season with a victory as they look to go towards a third star in the USL.
Yeah, job done. I mean, that's all you want. You want the win. You can see the players are pumped. Wilson Harris there also very happy. Kyle Morton, crucial first half save, and a fantastic save it was. But credit Atlanta United too. They really made this highly talented Louisville City side work so hard for the 3 points.
And it's a clean sheet for Kyle Morton on his debut. And that is brought to you by Mortensen Family Dental Clean Sheet. A clean game calls for a healthy, clean smile.
Well, it nearly wasn't. That ball smacked him in the face. He could have been onto the dentist after this game, but fortunately his nose and everything else on his face looks good. But well done, Kyle Morton. A happy start for him.
clean sheet, even though, as Gary says, his shirt wasn't clean. That was bloodied, but Lou City off to a victory in their USL opener. They've beaten Atlanta United 2 by 1-0.
Enjoying the sunshine and fresh air can be hard for many of us. Advanced ENT and Allergy is the regional leader in upper airway care. From allergies, sinus problems, sleep apnea, hearing health, and more, our medical team treats everyone like family. Advanced ENT and Allergy offers same-day appointments, and for many, no referral is needed. Our outstanding team of physicians, along with state-of-the-art technology, can get you breathing right, sleeping well, and feeling better sooner. Go to advancedentandallergy.com for your appointment. 8 locations.
Did you know Toyota actually spends $1 million every hour of every day on R&D?
It's all part of an even larger $30 billion investment to design and build vehicles in the USA.
Made in America means something to Toyota, like 176,000 jobs and over 30 million Toyotas built right here in the USA.
And for over 20 years, Toyota's electrified vehicles have been leading the way towards a better tomorrow.
The more you know, the more you'll drive Toyota.
Let's go places.
It all starts with a smile. To show you care, offer a sign of love, welcome someone home. Even when we don't see each other, or share a room, even without words, smiles bring us together. Let's keep yours healthy. Mortensen Family Dental. Schedule online at mortensondental.com.
Welcome back to the post-game show presented to you by the Kentucky Office of Highway Safety. It's finished Lou City 1, Atlanta United 2. Danny Cruz celebrating as his side edged past Atlanta United 2 with a goal from Wilson Harris. Ben Jacobs and Gary Bailey with you. And here, Gary, is the Toyota move of the game. And no surprise, it's the goal.
Yeah, lovely ball played in here. Musha Galus just sets it up there for Wilson Harris. Thumps it at Vicente Reyes. And the only thing the goalkeeper didn't do perfectly in the night was push that around the post, which I think 9 times out of 10 he would be able to do. But well done, Wilson Harris, for taking the shot and putting the power behind it.
That was the Toyota move of the game. Let's go places. And these are the match stats. 23 shots on goal, 6 on target, and just a single shot on target for Atlanta United 2. These half-time and full-time stats both brought to you by River City Flooring. And I think the thing here, Gary, that we should mention, despite that one shot on target, it was an off-target header that was the closest opportunity of the game for Atlanta United 2 when the scores were 0-0.
Yes, they certainly had their chances. They've hit the post as well. They've forced a great save from Kyle Morton. I think for Louisville City, they were definitely on the front foot. Look at the shots, 23 compared to 6 for Atlanta United. They just didn't make enough of those efforts. They weren't decisive around goal. There's that fantastic save. And Atlanta United will look back and think, well, you know what, we could have snatched a draw there. We had the chance. Look at that save from Reyes again. But in all fairness, it could easily have been 4 or 5 to Lou City.
Gary, thanks for your company. We'll let you enjoy your evening and Manchester United's win, and Lou City can enjoy a season opening win as well. They've beaten Atlanta by 1-0. Good night.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.